How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today is just going to be a talking video, as per the title, going over some updates, things I've been thinking about, and doing a little Q&A at the end. I didn't receive many questions, so that segment shouldn't be all that long. So now with that short little intro out of the way, enjoy some Apex Legends footage in the background, and let's get to business. So I know I've been gone on YouTube for a little bit, and that's for a good reason. For anyone on my Discord server, you'll know that I haven't been taking a break from producing at all. In fact, I now have 2 releases on all music stores, and I will put some links in the description for that. If you haven't put the 2 together, basically I set aside content for a little bit to focus more on my own music. And I really feel like that was the right decision, given that the only platform I could release on before was SoundCloud. So, in a nutshell, that's what's been going on. I didn't quit or anything, I just shifted my focus to another area. I also had the pleasure to collab with 2 of my good music pals from a Discord server on a song called Accelerate, which is the song currently playing in the background. So yeah, kinda having a blast with my own releases. It is really cool that we hit 1,000 subscribers though, never thought that would happen. For any of you who didn't know, this channel actually started off as a joke. Back in 2019, I started up the channel under a different name and just posted, honestly, the most random garbage that dared drag itself across my plane of imagination. Those videos have since been privated, but maybe one day I'll be brave enough to make them public and make people question both their existence and mine. So keep a lookout. But enough about that, I have 2 more things I want to talk about. First, the type of content I want to make going forward. Judging by the poll I put out, most of you guys seem to enjoy the genre videos the most, which I'm sure wasn't a surprise to anyone. And I liked them too, I enjoy making them, but I'm gonna run out of content soon. I don't like making repeat vids if I can avoid it, and I'm running low on video subjects. Some of them are very difficult to make, given that I have to learn something, perfect it, and polish it before you even see it. It makes for fairly basic content too, which is why I've strayed away from it for a while. Any of you that have watched me or have had a conversation with me know that I am a huge advocate for being unique and not doing things just to get easy views. I work hard for it, and so what if only 3 people see it? That's 3 people that now know how to do something they may not have known how to do beforehand. And that's what's really important to me. But I do want to start switching up with some more challenges and some more regular talking videos with footage of some games in the background or something like that. Next up is something that I mentioned in a recent community post, and also a subject I've been dwelling on for a few weeks. For anyone who doesn't know, I now have a new alias on Spotify and other music stores, which is ZVCH. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've ultimately decided it's time to leave Captain Stereo behind me. Being under this alias was certainly awesome, but my real artist name just sounds so much more professional. This change will be taking effect one day after this video goes live, so be on the lookout for a total switch. I will attempt to change it on every platform possible, including Discord and Patreon. And again, the name switch isn't going to affect my content at all. The only thing it will change is how others find me and the appearance of my channel. Thank you to everyone who stuck with me this far, I really do appreciate it. Alright, well that's all I really wanted to talk about. As promised, I'm going to do a mini Q&A starting with the questions you guys asked me on Discord. First question comes from Jexlon. He asks, what are your favorite plugins and do you play any instruments? Favorite plugins, let's see. Well, if we're talking VSTi, then I'd have to say Serum, of course. If we're talking about effect plugins, this might sound weird, but I use Fruity Filter a lot. I just really love the simplicity, and filtering things is really fun for some reason. Also, yes, I do play the cello, and I know the notes on the piano. Next up, from Fafu, one of the guys who made Accelerate. How did you get into EDM? I've been into electronic music for a while. I think when I was about 12, I downloaded the game Geometry Dash like the absolute non-savage I was. Looked up one of the songs on Spotify and found the rabbit hole that is electronic music. Next, from the one and only ad, do you like burgers? Yeah, I was at a restaurant about a week ago and I got this really good buffalo chicken one. It was amazing. That might push it more into sandwich territory, but who cares? Next question comes from my man Zelen. He asks, how did you get into music production? I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to this, but I basically listened to some crazy future house or whatever and thought, how hard could it be? Turns out, way harder than anyone anticipated. Now a question from Rocket Start. What artists inspire you? If we're talking about inspiring personality-wise, probably Jonas Aiden. He's very down-to-earth and speaks out about things that others are afraid to even think about. If we're talking specifically about music, you'll find that a lot of my music is inspired by artists like Virtual Riot and Boss Fight. I also get inspiration from cinematic artists like John Williams and Hans Zimmer. It comes from all over, really. Next up, from one of my mods, Noah. Have you heard of Joe? Okay, September 2019 called and they want their rebounding memes back. Okay, for real, what makes you like music so much? Or I guess, what is something that made you want to be an artist? This is an interesting question. It's really hard to pinpoint exactly what makes me like music so much. I really like songs that have good grooves and hard-hitting elements, so maybe that answers your question. Next, from I'm Zohi. Do you play video games or have any past with video games? If so, what were your favorites growing up, and what do you play now, if you play any now at all? I've never been a person with a strong video game background. Only recently have I really started enjoying them. Apex Legends by far is my favorite. The movement and gun mechanics in that game are actually next level. You'll see in the footage right now that I'm playing with my good friend Dominic. We play almost every day and have an absolute blast. Overwatch and Titanfall 2 were some of my favorites. Titanfall 2 is literally the most underrated game of all time, by the way. Same universe as Apex Legends with faster combat and crazy movement mechanics. I loved Portal 1 and 2, both were absolutely revolutionary for the time they were released. Fortnite was okay, that game is really hard to learn and felt a bit childish after a while. Halo, of course, is an absolute classic. I've played every game and am patiently waiting for Halo Infinite to be released. Wow, I had a lot to say about that. Another question from Rocket, he asks, are you cracked at Minecraft? Nope, I am in fact cracked at not being cracked at anything, besides Portal and maybe Apex Legends. I don't know. You be the judge of that. Next up from Hackerman, the second collaborator on Accelerate, he asks, if you could pick one VST/plugin for the rest of your life, what would you pick? Anything apart from Serum. Dang it. Also, what plugin do you hate the most and why? For the plugin I would use for the rest of my life, probably Flex. That plugin is basically a mini Nexus that's free. For hated plugins, I don't really hate any plugins, but I do strongly dislike Vital. They tried way too hard to dethrone Serum and the interface feels extremely forced. Just my opinion. Moving on to some YouTube questions from Daitai Nguyen, I think that's how you pronounce it. Based on the alias, is your real name Zach? Also, what do you think about using synth presets or sound designing? First of all, yes, my IRL name is Zach, good catch. And I really don't care whether or not you use presets. In my opinion, a preset is nothing if you don't have a good pattern to use it on, so unless you're using a pre-made MIDI too, I don't have an issue. Next up is a question from Player Slayer. He asks, when did you start producing and how? I started producing on GarageBand all the way back in 2018, and then I moved to FL Studio in 2019. Now the last two questions are from Instagram. First one is from Ad. He asks, have you ever been the CEO of Google? Have I ever been? I still am, man. Going strong. Last question from this video comes from NotSpace asking, why did you decide to make EDM? Again, I ask myself, how hard could it be? And I think we all know how that question was answered. Alright, that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Let me know what your thoughts on the Alias Switch are, or just comment a question so I can give it a heart and respond. Join our Discord, check out my links and everything else in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.